viewers, welcome. You're down in my wine cellar. This is where I have poured 30 years of my life, and it's a journey that I took when I'm in my very early 20s, and I developed a passion for good wines. This is a cellar that comprises over 318 different grape varietals. It's across a vast range, and these are wines that come from all over Italy. So from the north all the way down to the south, including the major and also the minor islands. So you'll find wines from the island of Lipari, for example, that belong to the island chain of the Ionian Islands, just sort of like north of Sicily. The wines are all either organic or I have had them checked, so I know that the sulfites and the chemical structurings of these wines are pure. And they come from boutique wineries which have a wide range of different approaches to manufacturing and producing wines of incredible quality. And I have put in contact different people across a vast range of also artisan products that feed into the wines because we pair them. So the whole cooking concept, the experience that we go into, is focused on the biodynamic cuisine. And I need wines of a certain particular magnitude that allow me to focus on being able to maximize the structure of the wine, and so that it renders you more, and getting it with the right dish. It's a very simple concept. You marry the wine with the right food and the wine will give you more. The cellar basically is rotated about a couple of times every year because we do go through quite a lot of wine. And I like to be able to accommodate all sorts of palates. So I will focus on what it is that guests like, and I will ask them questions that will make me understand what their preference is, even if they don't know what that is themselves. It's a very smooth way that I enjoy approaching people, and it's simply done with just very good food and exceptional wines. It's a simple formula. So when you come here, you're coming here to enjoy the simplicity that Italy has, but also its excellence. The cuisine that we do here is very different. We have focused on the production of 54 different crop varietals across a range of vegetables, fruits, and also fungi. We have 7 hectares of land where we have decided to invest in biodynamic farming. And so the kitchen is born out of ingredients which are curated and followed all the way across their growth cycle without the use of any pesticides or any other chemical element. So we use simple techniques. The soil here is volcanic for the most part because of Vesuvius, and also other volcanoes that came into existence throughout the millennia that this peninsula has formed. So the soil is very rich. The farm where we grow our produce was abandoned for 200 years. So when we till the soil, we found a lot of volcanic ash, and that has given our crops the edge in what they actually then deliver when we use them in the kitchen. The biodynamic concept clearly isn't new. It's something that is now emerging even more and more as people seek to eat more healthy. And what I have done, I have basically created an entire selection of recipes that we do throughout the year. We can cover several hundred different concepts, and all of them are then married with the wines that you have seen down in the cellar. So we will go down there, we will select all the wines that will be then paired with all the dishes that we will produce together. The view is what you see, and this is the table where you will sit and enjoy the fruit of your labor. The dishes that we create will have a certain particular structure based upon what it is that we wish to create. There's no fixed menu. I have a blackboard, I write all the ingredients on there, and out of that, we will choose what dishes to make. We can cover in one evening at least 9 different courses, and each one of those courses is paired with a different wine that comes from all over Italy, as you've seen downstairs. I will get you to learn knife techniques. I will show you how to do some quite complex recipes. For those of you who want to go there, I will invest in making sure that you have taken home with you that concept, and if you need any follow-up, I'm always happy to help you then later on do those recipes back home. The view speaks for itself. I don't think I need to add to that. I still have my uncle who goes out fishing. He's now 78 years old, and he still brings down squid, octopus, tuna, you name it, he'll bring it. And so the fish that we cook here is all freshly caught on the day. I cover only what's in season, so I will follow what's basically now in July approaching August. The funghi porcini will start to arrive, so we'll see those on the menu, and they're delightful because we can do so many different things with them. But I come from a family of fishermen, and although my speciality is fish, of course, but I also like to do many other dishes that cover a vast range of different produce. So from meat to fish to game to vegetarian, I do it all. And you're going to come here to enjoy some of the most outstanding food that Italy has to offer in a boutique setting where we only focus on giving you the best there is. Right, we're going to do quite a complex menu. We're going to start with some cut meats which come from wild pig. So this would be a prosciutto rudo, which has done 34 months of dry aging, and this comes from pigs that have been reared in the wild, and it's dry aged in a cave. So the way it used to be done back in the day. We also have bresaola, which has been done from a fillet of bison, which is outstanding. We're going to pair it with herbs that come from the wild, like for example this arugula that was hand-sized on the mountainside. This actually grows in the wild. We don't farm it. We don't have to. It grows like a weed here, but it's particularly delicious. And we're going to pair that with many different things. We're going to do a fresh pasta. This is known as a sciolatiello. It's a rough cut pasta that used to be consumed by the poor back in the day, which was the corner, if you want, of the sheet of pasta that was cut off when you made the sheets. And that was a rough cut, also known as sciolatiello, because sciolare in Neapolitan means joy, to be happy. And so when people ate back in the day, they were happy about it. We're using pleos. This is actually harvested here. It's rained recently. It's a bit of an odd summer, but we've got them fresh. These grow on chestnut, fresh parsley. So we're going to combine these, and the way that we're going to do it is going to be olive oil. The pleos mushrooms are going to be sauteed in white wine with pepper and garlic. We're going to use a 40-month Parmigiano Reggiano, and it's an organic, and we're going to put fresh parsley as garnish at the end. It's a very simple dish. We're going to pair this with a nice Pinot Gris from Trentino Alto Adige, so we're going up into the mountains. It's got a beautiful mineral structure to it. And we're going to move into doing different dishes which will involve some seafood. So we've got some fresh squid that was caught last night from my uncle, who still goes out to sea, as I mentioned earlier, and he caught several. I've got them in the fridge. We're going to basically create a nice red sauce by roasting some tomatoes in the oven, which is going to be the base from where we'll make the sauce. Because we do biodynamic cuisine, I don't use tins. Everything is done using base ingredients. And the tomatoes that I use, I refer to them as sun drops. They're like drops of the sun. They're so full of flavor, you can actually taste the sun in them. That is going to be pureed after we've roasted them, and from that we're going to extract the sauce that's going to be the base for what we're going to do next. The menus will vary each day. It depends what I've got out of the orchard and what I've found fresh at the markets. Everything that we cook, that we prepare, is done with a view of making sure that I have sustained people who invest in sustainable models of agriculture. So the biodynamic approach for me is key. I don't want to serve you contaminated food. I want to serve you excellence. And to do that, we went back to the drawing board. As a small kitchen, as a small micro venue, I wanted to basically give you something a little bit different. So from the pasta to the mushrooms to the cuts of meat that we serve to the fish, everything has been taken care of in a way that allows me to be confident in what I'm serving you, and also I want you to have the confidence that you're eating some of the best food in the world. It's a simple formula, and then all these dishes that we create in here with the use of good knives. For example, these are all handmade blades. These are Japanese. They're hand-forged steel, folded. It's known as a Damascus style. So you can actually see the folds of steel. It has a center blade, which is extremely hard, which allows the blade to be extremely sharp. A sharp knife is a safe knife. Then we will serve, as an entree, we will go down the routes of the prosecchi millesimati. What does that mean? It means that these are prosecchi which are of a higher degree of quality than the commercial varietals that normally you will go into when you order them back home. They're very difficult to find if you're not in Italy. The other dishes that we will do tonight will involve, more than likely, also the use of some good dry aged, and I do dry age the tuna, and that is because it's a protein, and like meat, it enjoys a good curing session. So the tuna, we're going to do a good sashimi out of this. We're actually going to marinate it like a Mediterranean style, so it'll be a marinade of lemon juice, olive oil, salt, garlic, and parsley. But before we actually add all of that, the tuna will be marinated simply in lemon cut with water. So it's not aggressive, it's a gentle process. This then, we'll also do some of it scottato, so we'll do cast iron, and we will gently sear it, and then serve it on a bed of cipolle rosse di Tropea. So these are the Tropea onions. Now the red onion of Tropea is actually quite interesting because it's brought in by the Phoenicians in the 2nd millennium BC. And they are mainly grown in a part of Italy where there are microclimates, so in the south, so Basilicata and Calabria. They are phenomenal. I roast them in the oven in their own skin. I don't put any olive oil on them, just is, because I don't like chopping them. They make my eyes cry. But what I do is I caramelize them, and then I add a 25-year-old balsamic. I put some olive oil, some black pepper, and I mash this all up, and then I saute them for about 5 minutes. And that's the base upon which this tonno scottato is going to rest. There'll be some extra virgin olive oil to top up, and a little bit of parsley to make it a little bit more sort of like le je ne sais quoi, as the French tend to say. But obviously, everything happens within a natural cycle. So this tuna is here because now's the time that they're going to catch them, of this particular size. This is a yellowfin, so they're predominant in the Mediterranean. When tunas are no longer available because they're out of season, there will be something else, like for example, la lambuca, which is known as a mahi-mahi. They are delicious, or the ricciole, so going forward into September, October, they'll be more predominant. Everything that you see here is just born out of what's available in nature. And the only thing that you will come and experience here is the natural model, done clean, done in a way that maximizes its flavors and allows you to really enjoy food on a whole different level, with wines which hopefully, I know, will delight you all the way through.